Today I'm going to show you how to directly calculate the square root of any number with no guessing or estimating and to the degree of accuracy that you want. This is the part 4 of the 4-part series on calculating square roots. I think a lot of people don't know it. It seems to be an old skill that's somewhat lost. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the square root of this number, 374,850.0625. Okay. Move that down. So we're going to write this down in a special way. So let's here. Put our decimal place, and from here we do the numbers in pairs. So for example, 06 put as a pair and 25 is put as a pair. Notice the space in between them. We want these as pairs. So here we go the other way from the decimal, doing them in pairs. So 50 becomes a pair. 50 there. Let's put 48 here and 37 there. So we're going this direction. Do it in pairs. So 50, 48, 37. And if you end up with a single digit here, if you end up with a single digit here, you just put a 0 in front to make a pair. Similarly here, if you end up with one digit, just put a 0 after it to make it a pair. These things have to be in pairs. Okay? Now, whenever you bring down a number, you bring down a pair. You never bring down a single digit. And we're going to put a blank here. So we're going to take this first pair, which is 37, and go blank times blank. Blank is a single digit. Blank times blank. What is the highest but not greater than 37? Well, that's obviously 6. We do 6. And that's 36, which is 1's left. Then we do this plus this, which is 12. And we move it over, put another blank for another digit. So we take the 12, we shift it over, and we have a blank for another digit. Now we bring down the 48. So we got 148. So 1, 2, blank times blank is as close to 148 without going over as we can. Let me make that 8 a little bit obvious. There we go. It's obvious it has to be 1 because anything else was higher than 148. But always remember when you put that, you put the answer here as well. Okay? So 1 times 121. So we add this to this, or if you want, you can double that. So it's 1, 2, 2, add a blank, and bring down the 50. So 1, 2, 2 blank times blank times 2 is 24. So I'm going to say this is a 2, this is a 2. 2 times that would be 2, 4, 4, 4. It's going to be 6, 0, 3, 0, 6. Again, add this to this. 1, 2, 2, 4. And then we add a blank. You can always just add this digit to itself too, which is how my mom taught me. But bring down the 06. So that's 30,000 something, and we're going to be doing 12,000 something. 2, 4, 4, 8, 4. 2, 2, 1, 61. Add this to here. We got 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, blank. We'll bring it down to 25. So now we're dealing with 612,000, and we're looking at something in 122,000. So let's write it down. I said that was 5. That will be 5. And that is 6, 1. And we hit 0. So we're done. If you were to continue this, you'd find that every time everything you came up for any digits past here would be 0 anyway. It would still work, but you just keep coming up with zeros. So I'm contending that this is the square root of this. Now usually it doesn't end in 0. So I'm going to do the square root of 153.531. So remember to put the decimal place in right away. So we're going to go 5, 3, 1. You'll notice that 1 does not have a pair, is not a pair. So add a 0. It doesn't change the value of the number, but it gives you the pairs. And then 53 is a pair. We got 1. So from here we do pairs. So we have the 53. 1's by itself. You can add a 0 if you want. That's, yeah, it doesn't matter at all actually. Just make sure that they're paired properly here. The 0 at the end is important if you don't have a pair. And that pair 1 can be by itself or as a 0, 1. So I'm going to put a blank here. Blank times blank, which is not greater than 1, but it's close to it. It is 1, of course. 1 plus 1 is 2. Put a blank here to make room for it. So take the 2, shift it over, make a blank. We will subtract the 1, of course, and we have 0. We bring down the 53. Now, 2 blank times blank, that is not greater than 53, would be a 2. So we'll do that. And that would be 44. That's a 9. Okay, so 2 plus 22 is 2, 4, add a blank. Now you can just add this little digit to the whole thing itself. But anyway, I like to make sure I got my answer up there. So that's 24 blank. We'll bring down the 53. So we know 2 will work, so 3 is the one we want. Because that would be 6, and then goes 12. So yeah, we're well within it. So now we bring down the 10. Add this to this, or double that last digit, or you know what I mean. 2, 4, 6, blank. So now we're in the 22,000s. 2000s would 9 work? We'll get 189. We can keep going as much as we want. I'm going to stop there, mostly because I'm running out of space. You can't see anything down here anyway. So I'm going to contend that this is the square root of that. So I'm going to say the square root of 153.531 is 12.39. We're left with 189 here, which means we can add more digits. I'm going to wrap up by handling some miscellaneous details to clarify things that I've touched on before. I'd like to expand on something I only touched on earlier, is what if I pick the wrong number? Now we know from our previous calculation this one, the correct answer is 3. What if I pick 4? Okay, so let's do 4. 2, 4, 4. Say I pick 4. Times 4. It's going to be 16. 19. That's going to be 976. I can't subtract them because we don't go into negative numbers here. So I know 4 is too big. I try to pick the right number or one that's too large. Now we know the correct answer is 3. I'm deliberately going to go lower and I'm going to say it's 2. Okay, so let's say it's 2. So if it's 2, this would be 4, 8, 4. And that would be a 9. 14 minus 8 is 6. And that's 469, which you'll notice is larger than this. I'm not forced to bring down the next digits to do any more subtractions or anything. So at this point, my mind typically explodes. But this is how you tell that you picked a number that's too low. So of course, we know 4 is too high, 2 is too low. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that what we need is 3. All right, so then we see here that 224 is less than 243, so we can subtract. We're forced to bring down the next pair and continue on. So that's a way of telling if your number is too low, too high. It is a little bit of error checking in your calculations. Here's another little detail just sort of to clean things up. I had said that normally you should be forced to bring down the next pair. There's the one exception. I'll tell you what it is now, and that's if you reach a 0 here. That means you're done. You found the actual square root. Showing you the example of the square root of 200 here because I've been doing that all through this video series. And also because the square root of 200 keeps going on and on forever. You'll notice that the result here is not 0, which means you could continue calculating more digits if you wished. You'll also notice this is the same answer that Siri gave, but Google gives many more digits. So it all depends on how far you want to go, but the answer is completely accurate. Okay, here's where I ask for your help. You see, I can use this method. It works every time, but I have no clue why. Okay, my mother comes from the days where they showed you how to do things, but they never taught you why it worked. And she had no clue why it worked. And I have yet to figure it out after, okay, I'm going to give away my age, 40 years. So if you have any idea why this works, put it in the comments below. If you have a link to something that explains it clearly, please put that in the comments. I'd be thrilled. So now you know how to calculate any square root to any degree of accuracy that you would like. You can also see that's why I didn't bother learning the Trachtenberg method, is this one is much superior. It takes you straight to the answer to as many decimal places as you wish. If you enjoyed this series of videos, please click like and click subscribe. It greatly helps the channel. Thank you.